Welcome to the channel. Today we discuss 10 of the most powerful Stoic tools Marcus Aurelius used every day of his life to persevere, to enjoy unshakable internal resilience and unwavering purpose as he took action and made incredibly difficult decisions as Rome's most famous emperor. You see, Marcus was not only Rome's most prolific and successful emperor of his time, he was also a Stoic philosopher and studied its teachings and techniques, implementing them wherever possible in his life, and benefiting from them each and every time he did so. Here, in this video, we invite you to join us on all the incredible Stoic frameworks he used that shaped his life, improved his confidence and resilience, and catapulted him into success each and every day. You too can have the same strength of mind, the same unshakable internal confidence, the same resounding mindsets of purpose and reason that he had. But stick with us until the end, and if you find you have gained value from the Stoic principles here Marcus used, they have given you a more stoic, more powerful and consistent internal mindset and improved how you relate to others, then all we ask is that you click below and like the video and maybe subscribe. Let's get started. Number 1, Marcus believed that perception is key to life. Recognize that the way you perceive events and situations greatly influences your response. It's not what happens to you, but how you interpret what happens that matters. In the frameworks of Stoicism, all we really have control over in life is our interpretation and meaning we associate with actions, behaviors, and events that happen around us. If you were to think about a toxic and negative event that has happened to you recently, what would happen if you completely changed your interpretation of that event? How would it make you feel different? How would the questions you ask yourself about it now change? How would this drastic change in meaning you assign to that event change how you interact and communicate with those that were involved in the situation now? Number 2, he believed in acceptance of fate. Marcus taught in embracing the concept of amor fati, love of fate, which encourages acceptance of all that life brings, both good and bad, as necessary pieces of the greater whole. The idea of accepting fate can also mean that you create your own fate through perseverance and action, or that fate can be randomly created and handed to you, should you avoid action and not choose your path in life. In Marcus Aurelius' writings, he talks in detail about this. In Book 4, Entry 23, he says that accept whatever comes to you woven in the pattern of your destiny for what could more aptly fit your needs. And in Book 6, Entry 44, he says, do not disturb yourself by thinking of the whole of your life. Let not your thoughts at once embrace all the various troubles which you may expect to befall you, but on every occasion ask yourself, what is there in this which is intolerable and past bearing? For you will be ashamed to confess. Next, remember that neither the future nor the past pains you, but only the present. Number 3, Marcus says you should focus on the present. Marcus was a big supporter of the foundational Stoic frameworks that focus on the present through mindfulness and ignore the musings of the past or the imaginings of the future, both of which cause problems, negativity, and damages living in the present. It is said by Marcus that thoughts and obsessions about the past and future often taint and poison the present when there is no need for it. In Book 3, Entry 10, he says, concentrate every minute like a Roman, like a man, on doing what's in front of you with precise and genuine seriousness, tenderly, willingly, with justice, and on freeing yourself from all other distractions. Yes, you can, if you do everything as if it were the last thing you were doing in your life, and stop being aimless. Stop letting your emotions override what your mind tells you. Stop being hypocritical, self-centered, irritable. These are the steps and Stoic processes of today, what we call mindfulness training. To focus on those things happening right now in the moment and ignore past and future thoughts. Number 4, he says to detach yourself from desire. Marcus was a stout believer in Stoicism's focus on removing yourself from your desires. In some ways, you can view desires the same way as Marcus did in his day. First, you have to learn and understand the differences between desires and needs. There are basic things we need in life to survive, such as food, water, and a place to live. Many other things in our life, though, are desires and become a never-ending cycle of attraction towards them. Once we get them, we move on to the next item we desire, build it up in our minds, and chase that. The overall process of desires is a continuous, never-ending cycle we become trapped in. Desires given enough attention and emotional from someone can take on a power and strength all on their own, and as such become a dangerously insidious cycle trap we end up in without even realizing it most times. Number 4, Marcus tells us that virtue of the person is the sole and only good. You must pursue virtue daily. This is a trusted mindset in virtue of the person themselves. Virtues such as wisdom, justice, courage, and moderation. Each of these can become crutches in themselves if taken to an extreme. So exercising caution and moderation in each of them and a balance between them in your daily life is paramount to happiness on your terms, in your way, and to the extent you choose to be happy with the best qualities of humankind. Number 6, you must learn to exert control over emotions. This is one of the paramount and fundamental frameworks in which all understanding, all wisdom, and all internal strength are created from. He emphasized the transient, temporary nature of human experiences and nature, that they happen quickly and through cycles and end as abruptly as they began. You can begin using this to your advantage here, by also recognizing that emotions are temporary and almost always lead to situations and outcomes that are not in your best interest. Because they are temporary, they are not part of the core you. The you inside and what you believe, understand, and perceive the world to truly be. They are not a real reflection of us and what we are inside. They are temporary cycles of outbursts and nothing more. Number 7, Marcus teaches us to work towards self-discipline. Discipline in thought and action is essential to having control, having choice, and unshakable self-confidence. Self-control is a hallmark of Stoicism, and you can begin taking on this process as well in drastically improving many areas of your life. Begin by developing a regular habit of introspection and daily reflection. These actions can help you review behaviors and thoughts you had throughout the day and the extent they were influencing you unduly. This process will rapidly help you create a rock-solid self-awareness and stoppable internal confidence. Another way to work towards self-discipline that Marcus teaches us is to work in moderation and control of your impulses and desires. You see, this process helps cultivate a life of simplicity and helps you avoid excess, whether that be in physical indulgences or emotional reactions. The skills of working toward discipline in these areas of your life will skyrocket your willpower, and through that maintaining focus on those things that are important to you, no matter what distraction and current trendy topic may pop up attempting to distract you again. Number 8, you should reflect on mortality to gain the perspective of relevance. Remember that the impermanence of life can help you prioritize your actions and behaviors and detach from trivial concerns. This concept of memento mori, or remember that you must die like us all, reminds us that everything is fleeting and temporary. This mindset also reinforces several of the prior numbers, such as number 1, that perception is the key to life. Memento mori teaches us that since perception is important and we can only control our interpretation and reactions to the outside world, there is no real reason to continually dwell on unknown or negative things fabricated in the mind. With limited time and resources before we all die, that time would be much better spent improving your life, your mindset, and developing greater internal happiness on your terms instead. Number 9, Marcus believed that universal reasoning guided and ordered all things in life, where we knew and understood anything about them or not. The universal reasoning is described by Marcus in Book 4, Entry 40, as constantly regard the universe as one living being, having one substance and one soul, and observe how all things have reference to one perception, the perception of this one living being, and how all things act with one movement, and how all things are the cooperating causes of all things which exist. Observe too the continuous spinning of the thread and the texture of the web. It is within this overall living, breathing expanse that all things in the universe, all its mechanics and operations happen, including everything in our lives. This means you can begin implementing several of these powerful tools in your life as well, and begin to harness the power and effectiveness they possess as well. The first one is understanding and accepting that universal reasoning, or logos, happens across the entire spectrum of good and bad regularly. It's cyclical, and as such will always have its ups and downs. In addition to this, you must begin accepting that Logos is inherently chaotic, in that change will always happen and should be looked upon with a sense of contentment, strength, of calmness. Because you now know that change will always be present and happening. Where some will fight against the flows of life, they at all levels destroy themselves and their lives by rejecting the nature of life and everything in it here. You are different now and have begun taking on these incredible understandings in Logos to make each day better, more fruitful, and to begin rapidly destroy the anxiety and daily stress that others create for themselves. These powerful Stoic understandings will build a confidence and wisdom in you that you never knew was possible before, and give you a framework to living each and every day now, with power, with choice and intent, where the typical 99% of people fight and struggle each day against the currents, blaming everyone and everything instead. Number 10. Marcus believed in natural order and duty. This means you must begin fulfilling your role and duty within the natural order of things. Everyone has a role to play, and doing your duty according to reason and Logos is essential for a harmonious life. Finding those things that give you purpose, happiness, and reason to be here will drastically drive your order and duty skills up and ensure that the internal mindsets and frameworks you live with are consistent with your behaviors. Each action you take, being consistent with actions you believe are important, you believe have purpose, and fulfill important roles in your life, giving to others in the end. In Book 6, Part 42, he discusses focus in the natural order you do with action. If you work at that which is before you, following right reason seriously, vigorously, calmly, without allowing anything else to distract you, but keeping your divine part pure, as if you might have to give it back immediately. If you hold to this, expecting nothing, fearing nothing, but satisfied with your present activity according to nature, and with heroic truth in every word and sound which you utter, you will live happy. And there is no man who is able to prevent this. Marcus' words ring true in focus and intent, and when you put that focus into something that is important and meaningful to you, it brings about a greater sense of purpose, of contentment, of overwhelming happiness. For far too long, especially in the internet age, too many have done things that they are not serious about, do not put serious effort and attention into, and continue to fail, but do not understand why. Giving up after putting in 5% effort, they become confused and disheartened, assuming it's them or everything is stacked against them. Indeed, in Book 10, Part 11, he speaks of the unrelenting duty to do what is right, no matter who or what stands in the way. Just that you do the right thing, the rest doesn't matter. Cold or warm, tired or well-rested, despised or honored, dying or busy with other assignments. Because dying, too, is one of our assignments in life, there as well, to do what needs doing. If you enjoyed the video, click below and subscribe. We love having you here. And until we meet in the next video, take care, young one.